is a mess, but do we care? I really hope you don't care, because I don't care. This is the natural state of my life right now, so sorry. Hi everybody, I'm Jessica Nicole Dickerson, aka JND, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm doing the Blackathon Tag. I'm so excited for this. Jessie is just a rock star in the Booktube community, and you know, throwing all the support, and also really looking forward to giving you guys some solid recommendations. I feel like a lot of these aren't too popular. Some of them are, some of them aren't. So it's a good mix of things, so hopefully you'll hear about some books you've never heard about. Yeah, so let's get into it. First off, I'm kind of cheating on the first question, which is to, where is it? Mirror image, cover recreation or homage. So instead of like doing like a makeup look or like an outfit thing, I'm gonna make a little illustration and I'm gonna insert the clip here. Boom. It's something different. I feel like I didn't want to do makeup. I wasn't in the mood to, so I was just like, you know what, let's just draw something. I do love drawing. If you guys don't know, I'm an actor, illustrator slash book lover, guys. Yes. Okay, now diving into question 2, which is Slept On, a book that no one talks about. And I do have a couple books for this. I'm kind of cheating. I have a couple books for like every category, but it's fine because we want those recommendations, right? Right. So, the first one being Saltly Bittersweet by, I don't remember the author's name off the top of my head, but I have the image here. This was a book I got on NetGalley, and I'm so lucky that I read this because it was such a phenomenal book. It talks about the pressures of life and hustle culture and people chasing their dreams, but it's like, is this actually your dream, or is this what people tell you your dream should be and that you need to like work yourself to an early grave to get it? No! And it has such a great discussion about just that work-life culture, and it also has a lot of romance. It's abroad. They're in like Paris, cooking. If you love like Top Chef, oh, it's the book. Literally reading the book makes you hungry and makes you want to be a professional chef, to be honest, because it talks so much about cooking, because she wants to be a chef and she wants to eventually have a Michelin star restaurant. And if you guys know, that is some hard-ish to do. And the main character is mixed. She's Cuban, black, and I think a little bit Parisian, I believe, if I remember correctly. But yo, I'm Cuban and black, so I felt real connected. So it was really great. And she talks about her abuela a lot in the story. It talks a lot about family. There's a lot of elements to this book, and I think this book is so slept on. Go check it out right now. You will not regret it. It has so many great messages and great discussions, and the writing and all the, it just makes you so hungry because you want the food. So you should definitely check this book out, Pretty Please, with a cherry on top, because it is so slept on. I have heard no one talk about this book. I need you people talking about this book. Please, thank you. Okay, the next book I'm going to talk about is Full Disclosure by Cameron Garrett. So this is her debut book, and I really enjoyed it. So this book stars a woman who is obviously black and fabulous, but she's also a theater geek, and she is directing a play at her new school. She's transferred schools. Oh, I dropped a book. Sorry. I just moved that over there. So she also has AIDS, and she is kind of struggling with her like platonic relationships and her sexual relationships and her familial relationships with her dads, because she has 2 dads, and their faith and religion. There's a lot of great concepts in here, but it also just talks about love and life, and it's not about the trauma that she faces. And it also gives me Simon versus the Homo sapien vibes, because there's like someone holding something against her throughout the book, and she's just trying to define herself and find the power within to combat everybody around her, and also just, you know, following her dreams and learning that she deserves good things, you know. And I also really just like the talk about, because the main character is bi-curious, and her friends are like asexual, and I haven't seen that representation in a book, so I was really happy to read that perspective. And also the fact that they talk about sex a lot in this book, and it's just great, because YA, I feel like, normally shies away from it and closes the curtain when it comes to those kind of activities, though I don't think they dove too deep into that topic, but they introduced it and made it like a healthy conversation. That one. Slept on. Y'all need to get on it. Full disclosure. Moving on to the next question. Question 3. Call and response, a community recommendation. I believe it's just like a book that is beloved in the Booktube community. So I kind of have an author who is beloved in the Booktube community that I think everyone should read from. So my recommendation is Elizabeth Acevedo. So I know a lot of people have probably already read Poet X and With the Fire on High, but I think there is nothing wrong with these books. I think they're beautiful and perfect. Okay, not nothing wrong. There's sometimes a little something's wrong. I believe I gave this a 4.5 and this one a 5-star, but Elizabeth Acevedo's writing is so lyrical, so fun. Imani in With the Fire on High is tackling so many issues, being a young mother, chasing her dreams, kind of similar to Saltly Bittersweet. So if you liked this, you'll definitely like Saltly Bittersweet, because she's not talking about like having kids, but she is tackling how to pursue a dream and do you deserve a dream, and talking about relationships and balance. So yes, I cannot recommend Elizabeth Acevedo enough, and I'm definitely looking forward to her newest book that's gonna come out soon. I think it's like Clap When You Land. Can't wait. Her writing is just superb, and I love her character development. It's so phenomenal, and her books are just so beautiful. Let's move on to question 4. So this is Black Boy Joy, a lighthearted comfort read. So for this, which books did I pick for this? Not that, not that, that's not comfort. Oh, okay. So I picked these 2 books. So this one actually has a main male character, so Black Boy Joy does apply to this, thankfully. So this is Odd One Out by Nick Stone, one of my favorite authors. This stack has so many favorite authors of mine, to be honest. Elizabeth Acevedo, Nick Stone, we all love it, we all love it. So Odd One Out, if you haven't heard about this, is an actual love triangle where the 3 characters all have emotional and kind of sexual feelings for each other. I think most of them are bi or figuring out their sexuality, whether they're pan or whatever specific like umbrella they like to go under. I don't recall what exactly it is, but I remember that they all kind of like each other and all fond of each other, and this book is so much fun. I did find the language to be a little bit too childish at times, but I really enjoyed the message of figuring out who you are, and also labels is just how inadequate labeling yourself is. I love that discussion in here. One of the main characters thought she was something, but kind of realized in the end, like, oh, I just put myself in a box for no reason besides the fact that I felt that I needed to like be that person for the community. It's like, no, be who you want and who you are, and labels are, you know, they may help you, they may not. Whatever works for you is best. And this book has a lot of just like sexual tension, and it's just a fun time. There's some like deep family like relationships that like unfold as well, but overall such a fun book, and there's a black boy joy in this. So yes, finally. Because if you read Dear Martin, Nick Stone's other book, ooh, no black boy joy in that book, but it's incredible, and I can't wait for Nick Stone's Dear Justice to come out. Oh, her writing is just phenomenal. Sometimes it does make you want to punch a wall though, because of how realistic it is, just being honest. Not Odd One Out, but Dear Martin for sure. Okay, and then the next one for Black Boy Joy, a lighthearted read, I got Pride by Ibiza Boy. So this is a Pride and Prejudice retelling, and it just has all the like tension that you want in a lighthearted YA romance with black characters, and I so appreciate the girls like perspective in this book, because they want their education and they don't want to just fall in love and be swept away, or at least most of the girls don't. There's a few girl characters who are like, yes, marry me and like I want to live on a luxury life, but the main girl, what's her name, Zuri. The main girl, Zuri, is all about getting her own education and empowering herself and her sisters. And it's so, I just love that perspective. It's very rare for like sisters to really empower each other. So I love that aspect of it. And this made me want to read the like actual Pride and Prejudice. So that's how you know it was enjoyable, where I went, oh, okay. And just like, look how gorgeous. I want this like as an art print on my wall. So I definitely say that this is a fun, lighthearted read, something easy for the springtime. Oh, let's see. So question 5 is Black Girl Magic, a science fiction with a black protagonist. So I have a couple options. I got 2 options that I really enjoyed, both being a little bit more than 4 stars. So I have, firstly, A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy. This was surprisingly so amazing. It's a 4.7 for me. I know I'm being very picky, but it was so fun. It's about rival heirs. So in this kind of queendom, when sisters are born, they do have to fight each other for the throne. But in this world, Ava is considered like the weaker princess in that she's going to die, even though she has the most rarest magic, blood marrow magic. But it just, there's so much political intrigue, and there's a lot of romance, and there's a lot of just hidden history in here. It's like, has so many cool little gems in this book. I really enjoyed it. It is very close to being a 5-star, honestly. It was maybe just missing like a little bit of a personal connection for me, but I cannot recommend this enough. I know people will love this, and I definitely want more people to talk about this book in particular, because it's just so much fun with their romance, and the magical world was really cool, and I can't wait for the sequel. So definitely a great black protagonist in here. And the next one being Beasts Made of Nights by Tochiyama Bochi. I can't talk science fiction without bringing him up because he writes literally the best, and I highly recommend the audiobook for this book just because the language and the accent, it just brings everything to life. His worlds are so amazing. Just the way he narrates and illustrates the setting. So this is a story about a world, a magical world, where the hierarchy, the monarchs who are higher up, they cleanse themselves of sins by having these kind of magical beings. I forget what they're called, but they basically kind of like eat their sins, and the sins tattoo them and like leaves marks on them. And normally the sins like fade away over time after a couple of years, and their job basically in the community is to cleanse the royalty, because if the royalty isn't cleansed, then bad things happen. And there's so much political intrigue and so much like people using, and there was a great twist at the end that I don't want to like spoil, but it's just a great, phenomenal, magical world, and I couldn't recommend this enough. But I definitely think you should pick up the audiobook, or else I feel like you're missing a lot of the culture that it's based in that makes the world so vivid, like Tochiyama Bochi always does. So yeah, highly recommend. So in love. Woo. Okay, question 6 is Pose, Black LGBTQIA plus author or character. So like I mentioned, full disclosure would also count for this because it has asexual and bisexual rep. Woohoo. But the next book I'm going to mention is something that I don't know if anyone's talked about on Booktube, which makes me sad. It is The Black Veins by Aisha Monet. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but here, this is a self-published book that I saw on a couple of Goodreads lists for black fantasy books, and I'm astonished because this is the first black fantasy book where I see a non-binary character and a bisexual main character, and it blew me away because I didn't even pick this book up thinking about that. I just picked it up because I'm like, oh, a magical world, kidnapped family members, government in distress. Like, love that. We love a good fantasy book. And this is more urban fantasy because there is an underlying like realm of the earth that's like ours with just a little bit of magic. So it's kind of like Harry Potter in the sense. But I was reading this and I got like 30 pages in and I was like, whoa. Is this a non-binary character for once in a black fantasy book? Like, I don't know, comment down below, do you know of any other black fantasy books that have non-binary characters in it? Because I would love to know. I would. Because I feel like I definitely need to diversify that section of my reading 100%. And it's self-published. I'm so happy. I'm like, look at me reading books that aren't super hyped. I'm so happy. Well, I think, but honestly, this book has been selling very well on Amazon, and it has a lot of good read reviews that rave about this. So I'm really excited about it. And now, question 7, My Kitchen, book covering black mental health and or disability. Okay, so I think the first one I want to mention is Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter. She is Latinx, so she's under the brown category. But I did really want to mention this because that book did touch me pretty deeply, because she discussed insecurities about herself. This book, trigger warnings for self-harm and loss of a family member, but this book touched upon so many amazing topics of just insecurities in life, mental health, and just taking care of yourself. And basically it's a story about a young girl whose sister passed away because of an accident, and her family has to recuperate, and she feels as if she was like not the perfect daughter. But then as things come out about her sister, they learn that her sister wasn't either perfect either, and it also comes out that she kind of wanted to live a better life and that her dreams didn't come to fruition. So it does cover a lot of deep conversations, and I loved it so much, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, so I highly recommend that. And the next book I'm also going to recommend, ooh, it hits hard. It hits a little too hard for Jess, but it definitely covers mental health. So that is Queenie by Candace Carty-Williams. So I read this for Blackathon last month, and this book is about a woman named Queenie who is very much objectified for her body and being a black woman in London. I think it's London. And so it's not American centric, thank God, finally, but it's also covers a lot about sex and how she's using it to kind of validate herself. So I think this is a great book for women, but just be conscious going into this, because I feel like if you're not prepared, it can trigger you. I feel like this book triggered me, and I was just like not prepared, because there's a lot of scenes in this book where consent is very blurred. It's obvious that she's going out of her way to do those things, but it's also obvious that she didn't really want to do those things, but she's just doing them because she feels obligated, which I think is a great conversation, because I feel like a lot of women feel that way. They feel like they need to, you know, have sex to feel validated. Not all women, obviously, just like a portion of women. Like, I feel like that's something that we're taught, that we have to give ourselves in that way to, like, that's how love works, you know? And to each their own, it's all different. But her mental health clearly takes a toll because she's on a break from her boyfriend, who's a dick. No, it's not a surprise. He is. If you read this, you know. Not a spoiler at all. But she kind of goes through this kind of spiral because of this break, and how she's treated at work and how she's treated by men in general. So I think it's such a great conversational book, but oh my god, sometimes it's so hard to read. It was one of those books that I really wanted to just throw this against the wall and be like, Queenie, don't do it! You know? But yeah. Recommend for mental health, because she also goes to therapy, and her family at first is not about that, but then they learn that, hey, your mental health is way more important than like how I feel about therapy. As long as it works for you and whatever works for you, do it. Okay, that is it, and I'm so excited because now I'm gonna watch everyone else's tag, and I'm really excited. I love getting more recommendations, especially for the LGBTQ plus or IA plus books, because I feel like that is where I lack in my diverse books. Like, I feel like I've done an awesome job, and I'm so proud. Like, I've been reading so many black books, and I'm so happy, just in general, and I'm grateful. But I also feel like now that I've diversified those, I really want to start digging deeper into, you know, queer books, queer black fantasy. And so leave comments down below for me. I'm also gonna watch all the tags that are available, make lists. Probably won't get around to them too soon because my physical TBR is huge, but at least they're there, and at least we're moving towards that, and I am so ecstatic. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching this video. So don't forget to comment down below for any queer black lit, because I want some more. Yes, help me out. And then also, if you want to support my channel, there is a link down below for audiobooks.com. If you sign up with the link down below, you get a free trial where you get 2 free audiobooks. You can cancel it whenever you want, or you can keep it, whatever. But if you do use the link down below, you are supporting me, and I get a small commission, and it's totally free for that first like sign-in time, and get yourself some 2 free audiobooks if you want. Like, no harm, no foul. You totally don't have to do it, but it'd be kind of nice if you did. Who knows? But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. I'm so happy you were here with me. Yay. Bye. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.